Kia ora whānau. I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank a few people, some people that have come onto my page and opened up about their journeys, about their life. Some of the main things they spoke about are hard to open up with in a public forum like social media. So hats off to them for being brave enough to speak on such things, to help people out, I guess, and to help people know that it's not just them. It's quite normal to be going through these tough things in life. There's more people than you know that are going through it. For these guys to open up and really share their story, we did base it around rugby stuff, and I knew them all from rugby and sports. This was really about life stuff, about the kaupapa of mental health, about the struggles and the ups and downs of life. So thank you to those boys for coming on and really sharing that stuff. Yeah, so I just want to thank Declan, Adam, Leaf, Case, Henare, James and Regs. Thank you very much for coming on, opening up. The kaupapa we spoke about was an important one to me. And I was quite pushy with people, asking them to come on and open their whole world up to the public and be in scrutiny of the public eye, opening up about their journeys through rugby and through life. I do feel it is important, and I feel that all the young fellas going through it now, they have to hear this stuff, because it just isn't going to get through to them. And at the end of the day, that's the importance of it, whether somebody lives or dies, whether somebody makes a good decision or a bad decision, whether someone's feeling alone or not. I wish, as a rugby player coming through it, young guy, I wish I had somebody say these things to me coming up through the grades, when I was younger, actually say the way that things were. And your guys' ability to speak about things in a way that, straight from here, straight from the heart, nothing was scripted, and you guys just spoke your piece, and it was, it was real talk. It wasn't any bullshit. So I just thank you guys for coming on and being open and honest. And as much as it's helping other people, I really do think it helps us as men to speak as well. It helps us get it off our chest, helps us to open up. And I don't know about you guys, but every time I walked away from speaking to one of you guys, when I walked out the room, I just felt aroha, I felt light. I felt a sense of release and a sense of importance, that we done something really important. And every time we had a meeting, every time we spoke, it was special. It was special. Thinking back now, it's taken a whole year to actually get, how many guys? 6, 7 guys, get them out and edited and through. I was going to go through with all the whole YouTube and stuff, but I just think it was important to have these little snippets of you guys just out on the gram and out on Facebook. As I will let you know, there is YouTube links to all the interviews that I've done with the boy. The whole mihi, the whole talk is on YouTube, and you can go on there and view it. So yeah, I just want to take this moment. To thank Declan, Adam, Leaf, Case, Henare, James and Regs, 7 of the boys who were keen as to jump on this podcast, or this wasn't even meant to be a podcast. It was just me speaking about my life. It was affecting people, and people were coming through and saying it was helpful to them. So I thought, I'll get some of the boys on that I know might be able to speak on things and really open up. And I reached out to you guys, and you guys answered my call. So thank you very much for the tautoko. Thank you for the support. It's not easy to get out there and speak of such things online and be open to attacks, I guess, because everybody has their own spin. And that's the hardest thing about speaking your truth, is that it's not going to sit well with everybody and resonate. But the only thing that you can do, the only thing for sure that you're allowed to do, is you're allowed to speak your truth, what you've gone through and the experiences that you've gone through. If there's one thing that this has taught me, it's to never be scared of anyone's judgment of you. It's to never be scared of actually being able to say your truth, because if you hold it down in here, you're never going to get better and you're never going to heal. Speaking your truth can be hard because it's scary. You're scared of, at the start I was scared of judgment, and the main thing I was scared of were other rugby boys. Once I got the first thing out there, all of the fears dropped, and it was sort of like I realized, holy heck, I've based a lot of my stuff on being afraid of being judged, being afraid of being different, being afraid of actually telling people what's up. And that's all you can do in life, is be honest and truthful. At the end of the day, if you share your truth, a problem shared is a problem halved. If you're able to share your truth, it lets it out off your chest, and you just feel lighter at the end of the day, like a whole weight has come off your shoulders. And yeah, that's the main thing it's taught me, was never be scared to tell your truth, because nobody, absolutely zero people can tell you what you went through. That was a lot of what I felt was happening, like, people are going to comment, you know, there's going to be trolls, but there's going to be people that are speaking their truth too on the comments, and you've got to be able to take that in and go, you know, and look at things objectively and weigh things up and go, hold on, what are they saying here? The main thing that I didn't understand was people were saying, or some people were coming across and saying you didn't go through what you went through, and that's, oh man, that's such a hindrance to progress, such a it puts people down. And I thought, you know, if I can keep going on this and really expose myself and really tell the truth, then I'm going to be open to all these attacks and I'm going to be able to take it. It's given me so much more patience, so much more understanding, you know, the way that people can come across in the world and say things that they don't really understand are going to hurt people. A lot of learning in that area. And one of the main things I did find though was, once I had spoken to these people that had varying opinions or pretty much saying you didn't go through that, you know, a lot of them were looking at it standing in their own shoes. So once you can actually step in to other people's shoes and see it from their point of view, I think the understanding is going to go a long way. And that's where sometimes you can get stuck, as if you aren't seeing things from another person's vantage point or from their experiences, because, you know, who we are as people only add up from our experiences in life. So each experience is adding up to who we become, really. And you know, once we understand where people have come from and understand their background and who they are, then we can understand the whole person and understand who they are as a person. So getting to know each other is so important. And you know, the boys that have come on this the social media platform of mine, Rugby Playing Gypsy, they've really opened up and they've really let you in, and you've got to know them intimately. And I get so many positive messages from everyone saying, you know, that they've learned so much, and oh my gosh, I'm going through that stuff as well. I thought that it was just me. I didn't know rugby players suffered like that. I didn't know that tough Kiwi men can be, you know, can have feelings. But you know, everybody does. Everybody has feelings. Everybody's going through it in some way or another. You've just got to look past the external barrier that everyone's putting on, these shells that we put on to fit into the fucking cookie cutter, to fit into society. You've got to connect with people where you can. I think connection is the main part. When we connect with each other, then we're able to prosper as a whole, as a collective. You know, lack of connection, you know, there's lack of empathy, there's lack of understanding, there's me, there's you, there's no us, and there's no togetherness. You know, it took the whole year to get all these interviews out there. I'm glad that you guys all got to hear it. You know, very special to be welcomed into these boys' lives, them to be able to share their mamai, their good things, their bad things, their truths. So important, especially for young men in this country. Young men, old men, men have it pretty hard. And I'm not saying women don't, but men do as well. I'm really happy I actually spoke to all these men, because at the start I just thought it was me. You know, I just thought it was me going through it, overthinking things, especially about the rugby stuff. But speaking to, you know, all these rugby players or ex-rugby players, current, it made me understand, wow, it's not just me overthinking. There is substance to what I was saying and all the things I was speaking about. But that's the main thing that I wanted. I think I wanted validation, and I've never had that. Never had the validation part. These opinions from these boys have really come through and validated the way that I feel, and they stood up and spoke for me, spoke about, you know, the same themes as I did, and there were a lot of common themes, coming out of this. I spoke to Shane Christie on the phone once about these common themes that were happening, you know, about the mental health happening to these rugby players, and he said he had documented over 30 people that were on antidepressants. You know, 30 people that had been professional, semi-professional rugby players that are now on antidepressants. I'd spoken to a few that are on antidepressants, struggling from mental health. That's the main reason I've spoken, because I've never heard anybody speak about this before. I've never heard anyone say real things. So I just thought that maybe if I just say it how it is, that it can be heard. There's no replacement for saying it how it is. And I think I must get that off my family. You know, my old man's a lot like that. I know my nana was like that a lot. My mum's like that. But you know, when you say things how they are, there's nothing that can be beating around the bush. There's nothing that can be misinterpreted. At the start, I sort of was trying to say it from a objective point of view, from a view where I wouldn't get judged or hated on, but I realized like you can't do that if you're going to do the truth. If you're going to say the truth, you've got to say the whole truth, and you just got to fucking yell it from your gut and go, this is me, this is who I am, and this is what I'm about, this is what I went through, this is what happened. And once we can do that, you know, as a collective, then I think things are going forward, and we're going up. We're going to get a lot of grabbing and pulling up with us. We don't want to be pushing people down. And that's what I found. A lot of the people that were actually some of them were just coming on to say negative things, comments or whatever, just because they're random people and they don't know you. But I did find a lot of support, but not from the people closest to me, not from the people around me. I sort of felt judged from people around me or closest to me, like, fuck, what's he up to? He's on this kind of a tangent thing that he's up to. What's he doing, bro? Like, that's what I've just felt initially. And then, but the people that are around that, the outside people looking in, they were so supportive, and they would come, like, I'd say hundreds of people were messaging through and saying wonderful things and supporting the messages I was saying, probably because they didn't have prior opinion of me or an opinion that was biased towards what they thought about me. I don't know if I'm the most liked person or not, but yeah, they could just see the message that I was saying, I guess, and they just heard that. Where a lot of people around you, sometimes you've got to be careful, because you know the old saying, you keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. And you know, you start posting things, you start putting things up, and you watch who listens, who supports, who's actually watching these things of yours, because those are your people. The people that are there for you are going to support the things you're passionate about and the things that you think are important. And that's just the way of life. No, they're not going to make it hard to find out if they're there for you. You'll know straight away. I know with me, you know off the bat if I like you or not. So I've gotten better at that. I don't people please. I don't go down routes that I don't need to. Sometimes they say it's better to walk alone than to walk with a fool. Sometimes if you walk with other people, they can be pulling you hard in their direction and you don't even know it. They could be stronger than you and pulling you in all kinds of directions that you don't even want to go in. So that's why it's important for you to choose your circles, to choose the people who are around you. Those people are going to tell a lot about yourself. Those people that you choose to be around you tell a lot about who you are as a person. And my circle has just gone, like, it's so small now that it's just, you know, what's inside the four walls, really, what's inside the family home, that's important. Yeah, I'm willing to walk away from anyone or anything that doesn't serve me now, and that's what this has given me. It's given me confidence back. It's given me an opportunity to sort of recreate myself and reflect on things, and I think it's a good thing. So I don't really know where this is going to go from here on out, but I hope it's affected you in a positive way. I hope you've watched, I hope you've listened. I know you have, those ones who have. All I can say is good things about what I've done, and I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about what people go through. 2025 has been, well, 2025 has been really transformative for me. You know, I've come out of a really dark place. I've gone out into the world. I've done things I wanted to do. I've spoken to people. I've listened, and I've had people support me. That and that's special. That's something special. So thank you to all of those guys that came on. Rugby Playing Gypsy, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Fucking much respect, much respect. And you know, you only get back what you put out. So, you know, we put a lot of positive wairua out there. We put a lot of energy out there, and you know, I think we're reaping the rewards inside, you know, in ourselves, in our mana, in our wairua. We carry it around, and we can stand tall, and we walk around with our chests up, our scaps back, and be proud of ourselves with our chin up high. And at the end of the day, that's all you can do, put your best foot forward. So thank you very much, boys. Much respect to you guys, and looking forward to another year. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, all of that. Kia ora whanau, thank you very much. Rugby Playing Gypsy out for 2025. So at the beginning I spoke about, I think the first video I ever done was about the physio down at the Hurricanes. Man, and I put it so nicely. I was looking back at the video the other day, and I put everything so nicely and wonderful for him. now I wouldn't frame it that way. I'd frame it a lot different. But yeah, anything I share on here, you know, I understand that I'm sharing about people sometimes, but I wouldn't be scared to say it to their face, because I have my mana. I've reclaimed my mana. That's one thing that I have been doing, you know, subconsciously, I guess, as I've just been going around and taking my mana back, reclaiming my mana. And you know, I've had these feelings come up and these inklings of things come up, and you know, I've got to do things with action now. So where there's, you know, a lot of talking, no action, to me that's bullshit. So I just action things now. I do what I want to, I do what I need to, and yeah, that's what this platform's given me. It's given me my mana back, and I've got to say my piece, which I've never ever said my piece. I've never stepped out of line. I've never spoken back. I've never spoken to. I've never shared anything. But you know, a couple of psychologists I've seen, they said, you know, this is wonderful what you're doing, and probably the best thing for you. You know, it's like sort of like therapy. You just get to say what you want to say, and you know, and it's not offensive to other people because it's actually my truth and what I went through. And you know, the things that, from my point of view, you know, I realized, you know, even with the bar fight stuff that I spoke about, man, it was I realized, like, nobody even asked what happened to me. Nobody asked what I went through. You know, it was based around what everyone else was doing outside of that fight, but at the end of the day, I was the one who got beaten the shit out of, and I got kicked in the head on the ground, and then I got sent to jail for the night. And you know, I lost respect of the rugby world down in Taranaki, and you know, I've never ever spoken about it and never said it from my point of view, just because of other people around me not wanting to talk, or other people around me saying you shouldn't. But you really should. You really should. If you feel like you need to say something, you've got to say it. You've got to let it out. And you know, that's the way I'll be fathering my children. Is to, you know, if they have something to say, say it. Because it's when you bury it down and when you be quiet, when you don't react to things, when you don't respond, those can be the things that weigh you down in the end. The little things that pile on top of each other, that you sweep under the rug, that are going to weigh you down, and then you're going to realize, you know, you got a lot to lift out at the end of the day.